This meeting is being recorded.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions, and we have a mission to wake the world up to what's possible. Here today to help me with that mission is one of the most amazing author experts of a new book that we have coming out called Love Warriors, the Conscious Expert's Guide to Healing, Joy, and Manifestation. Welcome, Maureen Mays.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
I'm really happy to have you here. You guys, Maureen is a 4-time published author of poetry and fiction, and some nonfiction that I know of too. And I can't wait to share her with you today. Maureen, thank you, first of all, just for being willing to share your story in this book, and really for the incredible teachings that you're also dropping in this book. As you know, this book is full of different kinds of awareness practices like yours that are going to transform people's lives. Would you share a little bit about your chapter with us?
Oh, absolutely. I must admit, this was one of the hardest things that I've written, especially because I am still in practice. You know, this is something that I'm practicing, learning to love yourself first and to actually put that in action. One may say, oh, you know, that's pretty simple, like ABC, you got to love yourself first. But when you become a mother, when you become part of the rat race, sometimes putting yourself first begins to slowly become the back burner, and everything else becomes at the forefront. Whether that's managing tasks or your office at work, whether that's, you know, being a caregiver to an elderly family member, or even taking care of children.
Yeah.
So I thought about that.
Yeah, I hear you with that. And I mean, I think that's a lifelong practice. Like, we don't stop practicing this, and it's harder on some days and easier on others, but I think we're all getting a little bit better at it. And I appreciate you writing about it, understanding that you're in the process of it all the time, right? I mean, that is a mark of a master to me. It's that learner's mindset, beginner's mindset. Hey, I don't know everything about this, but I'm going to write about what I do know to see if I can help you a little bit with it, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what do you think? Was there a point where you realized, oh my gosh, if I don't hit the self-care, I'm going to burn out? Was there an illness involved? What happened with you?
What happened with me? Well, I started feeling off with a capital O. Something's not right here. Along with, there wasn't nothing necessarily happening in life per se, other than the pandemic, which, you know, we all kind of put a pause on life, and it just gave us new perception. But also during that time, I began to go to therapy because something was off. And one of the things, you know, I kept wondering, why do my therapist keep asking me, what did I do for fun? Why does she keep asking me, or when she would give me homework, she would say, I want you to do something for yourself. Doesn't she know? And at the time I had 3 jobs. Doesn't she know I work 3 jobs? I'm taking care of my 2 teenage children during the pandemic, and, you know, working full time, where I was an HR specialist, you know, doing staffing, which during the pandemic was an animal because everybody was applying. Everybody was applying for government jobs at the time. So that particular job burnt me out. So that was the aha moment after a year of therapy, when I finally began to really doing the homework. Because at first, I don't think I was really doing the homework that she was giving me. And doing the homework of making sure that I took care of myself despite the pandemic, making sure I did something for Maureen, something that mattered, whether it was financial, spiritual, physical, emotional, because there's all different types of self-care and all of them are important.
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of ways we can take care of ourselves. And I like hearing you talk about this and the way that you did. So, when I created this idea of love warriors, I wanted part of that definition to be about showing up, knowing that our vulnerability is one of our strengths. I think that you're such a love warrior, Maureen. But that was one of the ways that I defined it. So why are you a love warrior? What do you think makes you that?
I believe I'm a love warrior because I'm not a quitter. Love conquers all. And in order to conquer something, you can't give up, right? Whether that's the love of self or the love of just different experiences, learning life lessons. I'm not a quitter. So that's what makes me a love warrior. I am in the practice of practicing.
I like that. That's exactly what it is. You have a discipline of practice, and that's powerful, I believe. And I appreciate you talking about not quitting. Listen, especially with the last few years that we've all had, it may be really easy to just give up on certain things. And, how do you know when you're quitting versus when you have to let go of something? Have you been able to discern between those?
Oh, that's a perfect question. Perfect question. And I'm in practice with that, with being a mother. There's so many authors that I've met through the Brave Healer series who have talked about raising children and the love of not quitting, but you letting go a little bit so that they can mature, grow, and you still are able to provide that support. It is a very, very interesting balancing act that you begin to practice at this stage when they gradually move from teenagers to young adults.
I know that well. Oh my goodness. It's so challenging. I mean, we have to walk our walk as a mom in so many different ways of awareness. I think sometimes being a parent is an ultimate test of that. And yeah, it's very challenging. So you have a lot going on besides writing the chapter for Love Warriors. I know that you have other books and you have stuff going on in your life. Tell us all about what you've been up to in your business and your books and all the things.
Oh, absolutely. So I have joined the Matter Woman Art Creek Center. So I like to paint in my spare time. It is one of those things I've learned with loving myself. It is a stress reliever and it's something I like to do. So I, got enough courage to actually put my art on the wall at the art center.
That's good.
So I have a vending table down there right now. And it's down in Southern Maryland, in Marbury, Maryland, not too far from Indian Head. So it's a little quaint art center located in the country. It's beautiful. I enjoy it, and I enjoy working with the staff down there.
That's fantastic. Congratulations. How long have you been painting?
Thank you. I've been painting now for about 5 years. And it's been interesting because I don't know how it started, Laura, to be honest with you. I really don't. I just remember having 2 paintbrushes, 2 cups and cups of paintbrushes, to, different paints and different size canvases, to the point where I looked up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm drowning in canvases. And at that point, my children asked if they could begin selling it. And I said, well, whatever you sell, you can keep it for yourself. Who would have thought somebody wanted to purchase artwork done by little old me? So it's happening. So it's happening.
That's a big
So,
deal.
Yes.
That's fun. And it takes something to navigate that world and not let it change the original inspiration. What inspires you to paint? What are your inspirations?
If I'm having writer's block, or if I'm trying to write something and the words are not coming, they're not flowing, sometimes I will open up paint. And I'll, have a little music going in the background, maybe have a glass of wine, and I give myself room to just be. And sometimes the words will come, and then sometimes it'll just be a release of artistic expression just through the canvas. So I use that as a form of a stress reliever, as a form of self-care, doing something for me. And I also took it a step further. I do brush it off, where I actually go and host paint parties. And I walk people through so that they can have that artistic expression of releasing through paint. And, I'll share some poetry and, may even talk about, the power of loving yourself and why it's so important.
I love it. I love the combo.
And it slowed down. It slowed down a lot since the pandemic, as I'm, just starting to walk back into life as we know it. So yeah.
I love the combo of thinking about that: painting, release, poetry. Yeah, that darn pandemic. Oh my gosh. All right. We need to get back to our passions, don't we?
Yes, we do. We do. Absolutely.
So, I think you already know that one of the biggest missions that I have with every Brave Healer Productions book is to really help our readers live extraordinary lives. So no matter where you guys are on your journey, these books will help you answer that question: what else is possible? So, Maureen, what's one simple stepping stone you'd like to share with our listeners today that might help them kind of get onto that journey? What do you want them to know? Something simple if they're having a struggle.
Something simple. I'm going to give you something simple, but yet it's powerful. And that is, you matter. You matter. And because you matter, that's it. And when you sit there and you think about how you matter, when you sit and you really accept and receive that you are the answered prayer, that you are the miracle, you matter. And when you're able to really walk into that simple truth, it changes your perception. It begins to change how you receive things in here. And that's what matters. You matter.
Oh, that's a very, very perfect way to wrap up today. You guys, I know you heard Maureen say something today that made you curious. Maybe you have a question, maybe you need some support, or you just want to carry on the conversation, see what she's up to with her painting. I want you to scroll down to the show notes in the description. I have her hooked up with her website there and her links. And our authors are very generously there for you to help you take those next steps. So check out all of the amazing things that Maureen is up to. Maureen, thank you so much for what you do in the world and for being here today to share it with us.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I do.
So everybody, you're going to get to see Maureen again at our live stream book launch party. We're going to have that in the new year, January 6th. It's going to be on the Brave Healer Productions Facebook page. And I'm going to have all of the Love Warriors authors there to celebrate and share their wisdom and inspiration with you. And I have that linked up down below as well. January 6th, if you're listening to this interview anytime around that date, that means you can hop over to Amazon also, because the book is ready for you. But one of the other big missions of our books is to give you the experts, and the community, right? These aren't just books. You need community for healing, joy, manifesting your amazing life. So you're invited to come and rub elbows with our authors in the Brave Healer Book Club group. That's on Facebook. I've got that linked up down below as well. And lastly today, everybody, your words change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So it's time to be brave. See you next time, everybody. Thank you, Maureen.
Thank you.